CM Punk and Randy Orton are back in WWE. One of them we knew was coming out. One of them a lot of people did not think was coming out. I stuck to my guns and my predictions last Friday as we did our Thanksgiving show, and then of course Black Friday on Friday. I said I had a hunch, I had an inkling CM Punk was returning to WWE, and Survivor Series may be one of the most important events to go down in the history, the rich history of WWE. What an incredible show from top to bottom. Of course, the women's War Games match kicked things off between Bianca Belair, Shotzi, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, taking on the new and improved Damage Control with Asuka, Kairi Sane, the women's champion Io Sky, and Bailey. And of course, the big spot in this match was that Io Sky off the top of the War Games cage, right on everybody with that trash can using a chain. I thought it was an incredible spot. It was one of the best spots I've seen in a match, period, regardless of stipulation. Now, the only thing I did not like about this match, because there were a lot of bombs thrown in this match, the miss that Asuka, of course, gave to Shotzi, I loved. And the only thing I did not love about it is I like the angle at the end of the match where Bailey sort of stepped in front of a Kairi Sane and took the bullet on that spear, but Kairi Sane kind of just rolled to the corner. She did not get up to out Bailey as the faces sort of destroyed her. Of course, Becky went over in the manhandle slam to put Bailey through that table and for the babyface team to pick up the win. I did not like that. It just seemed like the timing was off a little bit. Everybody was kind of in the corner, and I want Bailey to just get her ass kicked. I was a little bit surprised by the outcome because I did feel like that, Damage Control was going to win this match and they were going to carry on with a huge heel faction in the new and improved Damage Control. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. It looks like Bailey's face turn is coming about. I think it's a little bit sooner than what I expected. It could even occur this coming Friday night on SmackDown. Then we got an Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz and Gunther, and this was really an old school match. Miz trying to, of course, show the ring general, who was the only person in the world that believes that wrestling is real. He believes that wrestling is a real sport. He practices the sport 365 days a year. Gunther going out and trying to brutalize the Miz. Again, Miz trying to be a little more technical. Going back to the days of Bret the Hitman Hart, one of the best wrestlers of all time, one of the best Intercontinental Champions of all time, and the appreciation of the Intercontinental Championship. But again, with that exposed turnbuckle, the referee not seeing in the clear distance, Miz able to, of course, first sort of kick the kneecap of Gunther and then delivering that low blow, followed by the skull-crushing finale. Chicago coming out of their seat. I came out of my seat. I thought Miz had just stole the Intercontinental Championship from the ring general, but in the end, a Boston Crab with his knee right on the back of Miz, forcing Miz to tap out. And I've said this about Gunther before. I think Gunther is the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. This is the best Intercontinental Championship reign of all time. Gunther is presented as a legitimate threat. There are some times now that I wish, especially with the star power back on Raw, that he would move over to SmackDown. I think SmackDown maybe needs him a little bit more at the current moment with the star power on the babyface side that is on Raw, even though none of them are really in the Intercontinental Championship picture. But Gunther can have a 5-star match with anybody. He's very Shawn Michaels, very AJ Styles in that regard, though obviously a lot bigger than both of those men. And Gunther has, the power bomb, the last sympathy, submissions, clotheslines. Gunther can beat you by any means possible, which means anytime Gunther goes for a pin, you think it's going to be the end of the match. It protects a lot of different finishers, and I absolutely love it. It's something different, and it fits his character. Miz, of course, came up to him last night on Raw, and I would love to see that rematch between Miz and Gunther. We need Gunther and Bronson Reed again. We need Gunther and Chad Gable again. There are good guys on that roster that Gunther can fight over the Intercontinental Championship with. Then we get Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee, which this is where the premium live event kind of slowed down a little bit. Escobar defeating Dragon Lee with the Phantom Driver. It was a pretty good match. To me, it was nothing special. Santos Escobar in his first big match as a heel. Really, again, this story will pick up once Rey Mysterio and Carlito get back from injury. Really, the most intrigue here is who joins on the Rey Mysterio side, who joins on the Santos Escobar side. My guess is with Escobar, it'll be Joaquin Wild, Cruz del Toro, Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo. On Rey Mysterio's side, it'll be Rey, Carlito, Dragon Lee, and then who knows? Maybe they bring back Primo, Epico, Axiom down in NXT. There are certainly options there, and I think Zelina Vega will stay a face and be on the side of Mysterio. Then we get the Women's World Championship match, which I was excited going into. It didn't really live up to the expectations. Zoe Stark versus Rhea Ripley. I think the problem with Rhea Ripley is anytime you get, these big, powerful women, the likes of Raquel Rodriguez, the likes of Zoe Stark, the likes of Nia Jax. Yes, they do look powerful against other women, but when they go up against Mommy, there really is no shot because Rhea Ripley is just dominating them. Obviously, Starks went for a Z-Force that was countered into the Riptide. Ripley retained the Women's World Championship. And again, just a really okay match. The Women's War Games match. And I know it's War Games, so it may be an unfair comparison, but it really knocked it out of the park compared to the Women's World Championship match. And then we got to the main event with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. I thought that was a nice touch to start the men's War Games match. I thought the bull rope being pulled out by Cody Rhodes and him and Seth Rollins using it, I thought was a nice touch. Drew McIntyre needed to get his hands on Jey Uso. We all knew where that was going. But the real story occurred when Randy Orton, the Viper, the Apex Predator, with a huge pop in Chicago, made his appearance. And that RKO to JD McDonough off the top of the cage was one of the best RKOs of all time. And I really liked how, this is Randy Orton's first match back in 18 months. Obviously after a bad back injury, which the doctors told Randy Orton to retire, Randy Orton said, no, thank you. I'm going to wrestle for 10 more years. I'm one of the greatest of all time. I do like how in his first match back, even though, again, it was inside the War Games cage, they really did protect Randy. They didn't let him take a lot of bumps. And Randy to give it to Cody Rhodes, to hit Damian Priest with the crossroads. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes from the legacy way back in the day. Now a friendship. And I said going into Survivor Series, I thought there was a possibility that Randy Orton could turn on Jey Uso, which, however, is that yeet chant that Jey Uso is getting right now. Absolutely incredible compared to his brother Jimmy. I said I would not like that to happen. Randy Orton, was so hot before he had to go out with injury. I want to see Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns again. Everybody wants to see Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. Maybe we get it at the Royal Rumble or even, potentially an after WrestleMania feud. But I thought it would have been a mistake to turn Randy Orton heel right out of the gate with the pop that he was going to get. And I was correct, and I'm glad that they did not do it. And then, just when you lost all hope of CM Punk not returning when that end card came up, I knew something was up when they zoomed out to the entire arena, because usually to end the show, they do that in close shot. When they zoomed out, I thought somebody was going to come out, and boom, there you go, that cult of personality, boom, 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 and that crowd just absolutely exploded. I exploded. I popped because, again, at that moment, it's like, we're not going to get Punk. And then, boom, here he comes. I thought WWE did a great job with the presentation. And just to show you CM Punk's star power, it is the most viewed social video of WWE of all time, which, again, with all the videos and all the social media they produce, is an impressive set. Did it overhype Randy Orton's return or overstage it? Not really, in my opinion. They're sort of two different entities. Randy Orton now has his own program going with the Judgment Day, as we saw on Raw, and it seems like CM Punk will be feuding with Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble over the World Heavyweight Championship, which of course with those two's history, again, I know that they don't necessarily like each other, but we expect them to burn the house down. And that promo last night on Raw, Randy Orton coming back, obviously telling Rhea Ripley that Daddy's home, really lit the fire for Orton, and I'm excited to see Randy Orton booked under the Triple H era. And for CM Punk, we've all said it, whether it's Bret Hart or whoever, everybody returns to WWE. WWE is home. AEW is not home. Tony Khan really fumbled the ball with CM Punk, and I said, I felt like that this CM Punk WWE run is going to be different. There wasn't a lot of people that are WWE fans that wanted CM Punk back because of his backstage drama with AEW. And I said, I think CM Punk realized that dealing with AEW, with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Tony Khan, you were dealing with children. You were dealing with unprofessionalism. Just take a look at Tony Khan's tweets when NXT, destroyed AEW on that one Tuesday night in October. Tony Khan could not stop tweeting about it. AEW is run by children. They're not grown-ups. WWE is a grown-up organization. They're a different organization now, run by Triple H, not at all run by Vince McMahon. And I think CM Punk is happy. Of course, he's going to rub feathers the wrong way. He does believe he's the best in the world, but as he said in his promo last night on Raw, now he gets to prove it because the best wrestlers in the world are not in AEW. They are in WWE. WWE will always be the number one brand in sports entertainment, professional wrestling, whatever you want to call it. And I do believe WWE has entered in a new era. CM Punk, Randy Orton is back. We got the Bloodline and LA Knight and Kevin Owens and all the women's division stuff on SmackDown. It is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Maybe the best time to be a wrestling fan in almost 2 decades. CM Punk is back. Randy Orton is back. Survivor Series was an awesome show from top to bottom. One of the best premium live events, not only that WWE has put on this year, but in a very long time. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.